What's up, everyone? You're going to be watching me draw some comics today. Now, obviously, this is not live commentary as much as I wish that was like the actual speed that I drew. But I drew this comic page and I recorded it in a time lapse so you could kind of see the process of the entire page because it's a large page. It's like a, whatever you call like a splash page, however you want to call it, like a full spread, blah, blah, blah. It's basically, there's like one little panel in it, but it's basically like a full page drawing. Now this page is Cull falling asleep, and she's like starting to have some like weird hallucinations and shit. So in the page, you'll see as I draw it, like within the panel everything looks normal, and then outside of the panel everything is kind of like fleshy and gross, and like there's intestines instead of her bed and stuff like that. You'll see it over the next few minutes, but I wanted to talk about like visualizing in comics and stuff like that. I'm probably going to be rambling about a couple different things, but when I like write my pages, as you can see in the little notebook, I've got like some thumbnails and notes and a whole bunch of stuff. I write out any dialogue that's going to be present, like really specifically, even though there's usually not much. But in addition to thumbnails, I also write out like little descriptions of like what's happening in the action, kind of if you were reading like a movie script and the action points in the movie are being described in the script. So just writing like little notes like that. So from the conception phase, when I'm writing everything, I'm already thinking about like the visuals for the panels and stuff like that, and that's when I make the thumbnails as well. Because I don't really sketch out my pages. I kind of just jump into it and just draw the whole thing. If you've seen my stuff before, you know that I tend to do that almost 100% of the time, and it's pretty much the same with comics. You can consider a thumbnail like a little sketch, but comics take a little bit more planning than just like sketching on a piece of paper. You want it to be visually appealing. You want the visuals to serve the story and serve the dialogue, if you have any. I usually don't, but it's always a good thing to think about, and I thought about this panel in a couple different ways. Like, I wanted to have the transition of her like falling asleep without being, super blunt, like, oh, I'm falling asleep now, good night, rather than just being straight up about it and kind of just like stating it. I'd rather just like show it in a cool way that she's falling asleep, and she just went through this big battle and she's in pain, so she's having like weird feelings and stuff like that, and her body is all like twisted and contorted and stuff like that. So next page is going to be like nightmare page, obviously. So but yeah, I always recommend people who are new to comics or like drawing a comic for the first time to really think about your visuals. Like don't make all your characters just like a bunch of like floating heads. Like, show the character's body, show their body language. Give the viewer more to go on than just, oh, this is the character, they're standing here and they're saying this. Like, I always try to think of cool and unique ways to draw panels, even if people are just talking. You may have seen in some of the previous pages where Ruse and Cull are talking that, there's a lot of different angles, there's a lot of different shots from like behind different characters and from different angles in the room. That's definitely something to think about when you're visualizing, because if you got like 8 panels on a page of just heads talking back and forth, like the dialogue can be super interesting. It can be really well written dialogue, but the visuals are still kind of bleh. So it's basically the gist of it. It's like always what I say is like give your reader something to look at. Give them something cool to look at. Put in a bunch of detail. Draw some cool poses, even if they're just talking about what they had for breakfast. I don't know. I think that's a pretty good plan. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. I couldn't do what I do without the support of all you lovely people, and I love each and every one of you. So yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.